Hello friends, welcome to Brainy Coders. Today we will be solving multiple problems on inheritance of Java coding language. We will see how inheritance works in Java, and there are multiple scenarios with access specifier and other methods, overriding and all these things. So we will see the complexity of the questions and try to find out the output and understand the logic, how that output is arrived and how does the program work. So let's get set to the question. Ready for the next question? Here it is.
The concept. So for that, I have created one parent class and one child class which extend this parent class, and there's a main method which will test this relationship and then conditions. So now in the parent we have two variables, parent int and common, and two methods, parent method and common method. So they are printing in parent and common method in parent. Now in child I have two variable, child variable and common variable, and this child method, parent method and common method. So in child it is printing in child parent, common method in child. So note that this common member variable is present in both parent and child with different value, and since we have extended parent in the child class, so parent method and common method is overridden here in this child class. Now in main method, main class main method, we have two instances, parent and child. Now we have created a variable of parent and assigned C's instance to it. So this reference p dot parent int is called. Then this reference p is typecasted to child, and then child method is called. And this I have created a new instance, parent p1 is equals to new child. Now I am doing p1 dot common. So basically see, we have parent child, but we are not directly calling p dot parent method. P dot we I am just, what we are doing is, here we are assigning C instance, child instance to P, and then calling parent int. Similarly calling the child method. The same thing is happening here. So the point to note here is, when we call the data variables and when we called methods using an object reference, how does output will vary. So let's run this. So after running you will see that the reference p dot parental will print the value 1, which is the value assigned of the parent int in parent class. So what it does say, it in Java it doesn't matter what reference this variable has, it just check the type of the variable. Type of the variable is parent int, and that's why it will print parent int value. Now suppose let's say we, instead of this I will do child int. What if I have done, so I am getting compile time error here because child int is not of parent data type, parent data variable. So see, in case of data variable only object type is considered, while if you see this reference p is converted into the child type and child method is called, so obviously child method will be called because it has the instance of child, it is referring to the instance of child. Now here the parent method has the new child reference, and then I am calling p1 dot common method. So common method is present in both parent and child. But now when we run the program, the compiler first goes to the control will go to the p1. It will check, okay, data type is parent. But now in that it will check what type of reference it has. It has child type of reference. So the common method is called of child type. The output will be common method in child. When we go with p1 dot common, p1 is the reference variable of child, but it is still, it will not return the value of child common, it will return the value of parent. As I said, it will check the type of object, not the reference. So that's how in overriding in Java, for data variable or fields, it will check the type of object, while for method, it will check the type of reference. There's one more scenario which we can consider here. So now, till now, what we have done, we have assigned child variable, child reference to parent. But now, what if I have assigned parent variable to child after typecasting it? How does the system will represent? So as we can see here, it will works in compile time, but throw error on runtime because child variable does not know parent method. Child variable only has child method. So basically, it runs because you cannot assign object with broader scope to the narrower scope. That's what we are doing here.
Enjoyed the question? Okay, great. So let's move on to the next question.
To the next example. Here I have created two classes, parent util and child util. In parent util, I have a public integer x equals to 420 and a protected method do stuff which will just return the value of x, that is 420. Now in child util, I have extended this parent util class and there is a main method. In main method, I have created instance of child util class and called a method called stuff. So this call stuff method is just system.out. It will just print this dot do stuff. So this is the reference variable of this child util. You can say this object of child util will refer to by this and do stuff method. So now this do stuff method is present in parent util class and which is of type protected, and these two exist in the different package p1 and it is in p2. So there's one thing to note: the protected access specifier allows the method visibility in the class which has extended it and in the same package. So if there is a class which has extended a parent class and this parent class has a method or member variable which has access specifier protected and is in different package, even though that class can have the access because it is of type protected. But in case of default access specifier, let's say it is default no access specifier, that time we are getting compile time error because do stuff is not visible here. So that is the protected one. Now there's one more command like you have seen parent util p is equals to new parent util. I have created a instance of p parent, and now here this I was trying to do this p dot do stuff, but since I was doing p dot do stuff I am getting compile time error. Why? Let's see. This do stuff, you can see it's not visible. The method do stuff from the type parent util is not visible. Since it is protected, I am calling it as a p dot do stuff. So that's why it's not visible because so that's the main challenge here to understand this. When I'm doing this dot do stuff, like I am calling it from child util, it's visible. When I'm calling it from parent reference, it's not visible because that parent is in the different package and the member variable is to do stuff. So protected member variable is visible in the same package and the class which has extended it. So this child util has extended parent util, that's why it is visible. But this scope in which we are calling p.do stuff is not in the same package. That's why it's not visible. That's the catch.
Interesting. Having fun while learning? Move to the next.
Now for the next example, I have created this class vehicle which act as a parent class, and this vehicle has a drive method and it prints four-wheeler license. Now there's a scooty which extend vehicle class and this returns this overrides drive method. This override drive method and it has two-wheeler license. And in main method, just simply I am creating a variable of vehicle and assigning new scooty instance to it, and I am calling vehicle dot drive. So when I run this, what happens at runtime? It will look like vehicle. Vehicle is of this class and it has a drive method which prints four-wheeler license. But this vehicle has a difference of scooty object, and scooty object has a drive method. So the control will go to this scooty class drive method and print two-wheeler license. Let's run this and check. That's the dynamic dispatch. This phenomenon is known as dynamic dispatch. So at the runtime, instead of getting vehicles drive method called, the execution console will go dispatch to scooty's drive method. Now what if I have made this public as private? So as we discussed earlier, we cannot minimize the scope of the overridden method. This drive method scope here is public, and in extended class we are making it private. We cannot do that. That's the compile time error. Cannot reduce the visibility of inherited vehicle. So if it has been private, then if it has been private, then it's again one thing, like this is the private method which is not visible to another class. So if it has been private and I have made it as a public, then in that case if I removed override from here, it will work. Even if I have made this private and removed override from here, it will have worked, because these two methods will be specific to their class. This drive will belong to vehicle, this drive will belong to scooty. So there is no overriding that is happening here because it's the private related to that class only. So that is the thing which we have to understand using the access specifier. So in case of inheritance and overriding, access specifier also plays an important role.
Here comes the next question.
Next example which we have on screen is a pretty simple example. It's not too complex, but I have considered it because sometimes it can be considered as a tricky if you are not clear with the base and if you get confused with too many of classes like A, B, C. So these all things. Okay, so let's see what happening here. There's a class A which has a print method and it's just printing A. It just says printing A. Now there's a class B which extend A and it again overrides print method and it just says printing B. Let me add override annotation. Now there's a class C which extend B and it again override print method, and here in it calls super dot print and then do printing C. Now in main method, C is equals to new C. I have created instance of C and the same reference of variable C is assigned to it, and I'm just calling C dot print. So what happens here? Simply object is of type C, it has reference of also type C, so the C's print method will be called. Now super dot print, it will be called. So super, what is a super for this class? B, but B has a super of A class. So in this case, will A's printing method printing A will be called? No, it will not, because the super will only point to the exact one level up. So that is class B. And in class B I have not used super dot print. So it will only say printing B, and then it now net goes to the next statement will be with the output printing C. So when we run this program, our output will be printing B and printing C. Not so complex, it's easy.
Yeah, last question was a pretty simple question, but keep moving on. Does not stop here. There's a lot more tougher question ahead.
Now this next question focus on how does object instantiation object creation is impacted in case of inheritance. So we have a base class which has two type of construction. One is default constructor, other one is parameterized constructor. That default constructor is calling parameterized constructor with parameter 1, and in this parameterized constructor we are just printing super and that value s which is passed here. So this child class now extend the base class. In this child class it is a parameterized constructor, and then it is just printing sub and then the s value which is passed in the constructor. So in main method I have created child object which is new child 2 in double quotes. So now what happens when this new child is called, the constructor of new child is called, and it should just directly print sub and the value 2. But since it extends base class, so in case of inheritance, if you initialize any child object, then the object of parent is also created in reference of that child object. So this constructor of base is also called by default. So now since we have print sub s, and it will, here I am not specifying any constructor. So what constructor it will call? It will call this default constructor. And since the default constructor is calling parameterized constructor with the value 1, super 1 will be printed. So first base class is instantiated, then child class is instantiated. So in this sequence we will get output as super 1 sub 2. So let's run this program and check it once. Yeah, so as you can see in example, super 1 and sub 2.
I promise you the next question will blow your mind. It's truly and really tough.
So this next question, let's see this. This has a parent class. Parent class has a method which takes argument of integer I and just print in parent method. Now this child class extend parent class, and it has again the method, and this method will take integer I as argument, but it's of wrapper class integer I and print in child method. Now we have a main method in which what I do, parent p has a difference of child, and I am calling p dot method with new integer I and p dot method with primitive integer value. Now there is a child class, it has a reference of child only. So we are calling child dot method with new integer 11 and child dot method with the primitive value of 11. So what we think here is, see, like according to dynamic dispatch, p has a reference of child variable. So both of the time when we call p dot method integer and 10 and method 10, it should print in child method, because integer is auto box to the primitive type and primitive type can be auto box to integer type, so it will suffice that, right? But okay, let's go ahead. Then in the same method in the child c has a reference of this, so it all four calls should print the child method. Okay, then let's run and see this. But no, only once it the child method is called, while rest of the time parent method is called. So why so? For that, if I just add at the rate override annotation here, see, we are getting compile time error here, because in the overriding definition, what does it says? The overriding definition says that methods and the arguments, both of them should be same. The complete signature must be same for overriding. So child is extending parent too, but it's not overriding the method, this method. So these two are the different method, not the same method. So that's the main catch. Okay, so with that what will happen, when I call p dot method, it will go to the parent class and then it will see this method new integer 10. So now, since even if it has a child reference, this new integer pass this method with argument of integer type present in the child class, and it has the reference of child class. but it will not go to that because it's not the same method. So dynamic dispatch will not happen. So what will happen? Either the exception will throw at the runtime that method not found, or yes, exception should be thrown. But here we are getting output in parent method. Why so? Because this is the primitive int I, and this is the wrapper variable of integer I. So see, there is a auto boxing concept, unboxing concept. So what that do? This integer I, integer, and this I, primitive and wrapper object are exchangeable. So this method is called with the value I. So this with the value 10, and in parent method will be print. Similarly, when we call p dot 10 method, p dot method with 10 variable value, then it will be called directly, because see here it's primitive type I, and then here we are also passing primitive type I. So this will work. So the main challenge is with this method call. Okay, so now let's move to the next one. Child C, new child C. Okay, so when we call C dot method new integer I, so we see there is a method which has an integer argument. Yes, it's fine. So it will just print in child method. Now when I call with the primitive value, so since because of unboxing and auto boxing, this is also convertible to this integer, then why here we get in parent method? So since it extend parent method, and we have a scope here to check parent methods also, because whenever we extends any class, then at that time those methods in that class also included in this child class. So this method is also a type, also in the scope of child class. So we will just go to the parent class and check if a method uh, if a method which is like validating this is criteria, fulfilling this criteria, like primitive type integer, is available or not. So yes, in parent it is available, so it will just call that, and you say int print method. So that's really, it's a simple code but a very tricky question.
Okay, so that was thriller. We have one more question. Just last question. Let's go to that.
Our last question. In the last question, I just want you to show one more thing, like static and final, which we frequently use in our classes and in our application. So okay, there's a person class which has a static method print, and it just calls system.out in person class. So there's a main class which extend this person class. And what happens if I override this print method in this main class? Override, is it really override? So let's see. No, it's not, because the print method is static, and the static method belong to the class, it doesn't belong to the instance. While overriding means, overriding is related to instance, not related to class. That's important. For overriding is related to instance, not related to class. That's why static method cannot be overridden. What it does is the data hiding. Data hiding can only happen if I do something like static here, then also it is not overridden. Like you said, static, both are static, same signature is same, but not, still they are not, because this static belong to person class and this static method belong to the main class. We can test it also. So let's, okay, try this. Main m is equals to, I will do new, I'm just doing, sorry, parent class will have the reference of child class, because we cannot do the opposite. Oh, it is main, sorry for mistake. Now p dot print. Let's see what it will print. As per dynamic dispatch, it should print this method. Okay, but now we are getting here error only. So what's the error? Let's see that. Identify expected after this token. What is that? What identifier expected? Oh, 1 minute. I have not created main method. Okay. So now let's see. What does this print will output? So on console you will see it's the person class, not child class, not main class. P has a reference of main class. When we are doing pre.print, it's not returning or not calling the main method print. It is calling person method. So that's how it happens with the static. It's data hiding. You can say it's a method hiding, not overriding.
That's all about the inheritance and overriding concept in Java, and it covers all of the concept, and these 7 questions can define and clear the concept, and you can solve any of the programming question in the competitive challenge and the objective solutions to find out which one is the right option and what is the right behavior. So you can solve these all kind of problems in any interview, exam, written test, and in competitive programming sites like Hacker and CodeSav and etc. etc. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and do let me know what else you are interested to learn. I will make a video on that.